Hello walkers, and welcome back to City Walks, a channel where I walk you around cities and take you on virtual travel walks or sometimes hiking trails and nature walks. This may look like a nature walk, but we're actually in Tours, France today. Tours, France, sorry. My pronunciation is getting a little carried away with myself. Well, we're along the Loire River here, and as you can see by these benches, the water is up quite high today. We've had a fair amount of rain. It's spring. It is 21 degrees Celsius, 69 degrees Fahrenheit in early May at about, what time is it? 11:30, a little short of. And we're just going to walk along the Loire here as I do my introduction. And then the plan is to go and find the Chateau de Tours. Then we will find the Cathedral and head over to this train station because it's pretty interesting. And then the Hotel De Ville, and then come back to the Loire. I just finished another walk in the old part of Tours with a lot of medieval buildings, a lot of old buildings. We went through Les Halles and the markets that are open today on a Saturday. And it's, I love this. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a semi-submerged bench and water lapping up just over the seat, and there's two mallard ducks resting on the bench, sleeping there. Love that. So the way I do, here, let me spin you around. I'm just gonna do a whip pan real quick. 1, 2, 3. My name is Henry. I'll be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide, your co-discoverer. I like to specify co-discoverer because I'm not an expert in these places. I do guide you around a little bit, but not like a traditional guide. I like to point out little details like ducks on benches, little carvings, things in store windows, things that excite my interest and that I think you might enjoy as well. I'm going to flip you around again, so prepare for a whip pan here. 1, 2, 3. Thank you to our Patreon supporters who Patreon supporters who help make these walks possible. It really is appreciated. I do appreciate you guys and your contributions. And I appreciate those who've made one-time contributions as well. You can find links for all that stuff down in the YouTube description. You can find walks by length and length and location at citywalksvirtualtours.com. But look how high this water is. We've been riding our bikes along the Loire, and we'll be riding along, and then all of a sudden the path looks something like this, and we have to detour around. Not a big deal because the roads we detour on are basically cart paths. They look like golf cart paths, and we were riding a bus last night on one. It was barely wide enough for a bus, and it was two-way traffic. But whatever, it works, right? They make it work. Yesterday we went to Chenonceau, which is a chateau or a castle, more of a palace that it's the one that's built across the river, basically on a bridge. Second most popular, most visited chateau in France after Versailles, and it's obvious why. It is well worth the trip if you can make it. It is beautiful. Busy, but not as busy as Versailles. When we went to Versailles in July, we waited in line for 2 hours. But we bought our tickets ahead of time. You have to do timed entry, so you get a time that you can go in. And it's not huge. It's not a massive complex like Versailles, but they do have some really wonderful gardens. Let's get back up here into the city. I started a little bit further away from where I intended to. Apologies. Looks like a kind of food court area here. Let's walk through there and then we'll go up the steps to the city park. Looks like these people are touring. Very similar setup to what my son and I have.
café suspendu.
Ouais, mais il y a du temps.
Looks like a lot of stairs. But we can do it. We can do it, walkers. All right, up we go. The reason we're in Tours today, we're spending a whole day here, is because we needed a rest day. Our quads, our legs, our calves are spent after, I think we're at 170 miles. So not huge, but for us, a heck of a start. Okay, I spoke about this a little bit because we went about 2 blocks on it. This is Rue Nationale that we're coming up to. And I'm gonna cross this way first so we get a look at it. That way, I think it goes down to the Hotel De Ville, the city hall, which one we'll see later. And then this way goes across the Loire, way up, straight as an arrow, up that hill. Super modern trams, really cool. Here is a Hampton Inn and Hilton Garden Inn, actually. Great location if you want a hotel here. Tons of other hotels, of course, although you want to book ahead because we caught a holiday the other day. We actually had to take a train down to Poitiers to get a hotel room, which is 100 kilometers away. And it was kind of nice. We went down there. It was fairly easy. But it was an extra expense to go down because there were 0 hotel rooms the night we wanted to stay here. And then a night later, it was fine. Look at the flowers. Statue de Descartes. A little wood pigeon, I think. Not sure what this building is. Oh, Municipal Library. Nice. So I think we go down another block and a half to get to the castle, the chateau. That old car, kind of neat. Right-hand drive, an MG. It's like a Native American. The statue, I mean. Look at the tree-lined pathways all along the Loire. I believe we'll be riding similar tomorrow. We're going to go up to Blois, through Amboise to Blois. It's going to be a big ride for us, 40 miles, 45 miles. For us. Let's duck in a block. because there's a nice little park here. And we should still end up at the castle, I believe. This is Place River Loire. Plus you get these awesome old buildings. This is a lot of what like old Tours is, which is on the other side, being considered to be on the other side of Rue Nationale. Again, we did a walk earlier. Like there's a walking tour going on. One of the things we like to do as a family when we're doing our slow travels, we arrive in a city and we take a lot of times they'll have a free walking tour, and then you just tip at the end. And they can be really informative and really affordable. We usually tip 5 to 10 euros per person, which is much less than you would pay for a formal tour. You have more people involved, but it doesn't seem to matter. Rue des Jacobins, and we are on, well, off to the right is Rue de Cygne, which I think is Swan. I think we're on Rue de Commerce. At least that's what it is further over. Nope, Rue de Colbert. Crossing Rue Jules Moineau. Then off to the left here is Rue de la Tour de Guise. See a little bicycle route there, direction. So we rode our bikes over from our hotel. Is this? That is not it. Chateau de Tours. Where? Okay. This is the Chateau de Tours. We'll just duck in here. This honestly is not. Let me say this. Not a great chateau in terms of chateaus. It's not ornate. It's not beautiful. It's kind of a blockhouse. They do have museums inside. or a museum inside. And I'll just give a quick look. You know, these conical roofs and circular towers seem to be the style or the look they use here. You can see some gun ports. But it's much less ornate than a lot of the other chateaus around in the area. So we're going to duck back out and go over to the cathedral, which should be another few minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. The Loire Valley has so many chateaux, some big, some small, some massive, some plain like this one, some almost like out of a fairy tale, you know. Just like, I don't even know how to describe it really. Just ornate and beautiful and romantic as heck. I can see the square for the cathedral, and if it's not just saw my son walk by. If it's not, if they're not having a service, we can go inside. Surprisingly, we don't see a lot, or haven't seen a lot of other American tourists on this trip. I don't know if it's the location or the time of year, probably a little both, but it seems to be off the beaten track. So I'm going to show you the cathedral in a second, but I'm going to loop around this little plaza so we get a better view of it first. Bonjour. You can see we've got this nice little square and plaza with some trees that have been trimmed back. I wonder if they've been trimmed back to improve the views, which we are going to see now. There you can see off to the left some flying buttresses as well. This is the Cathedral of Saint-Gatien. And they're going to have some music inside, I think. Sounds like maybe. They were playing the organ the other day when we came in. Look at that. I don't know how the image is going to be in the dark, but we'll see. Look at this detailed carving here. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? All right, I'm gonna go inside. I'm not gonna talk a lot, and I'm gonna try and be respectful. The smell of incense is really amazing. they're having a communion service in there, and so I didn't want to dally too long. But absolutely beautiful. I love the music. I love the ambience, the light streaming through. It's beautiful. Here's the outside, the south side of the church. Oh my gosh. My son made a comment that was very appropriate. He said, imagine being a farmer or a peasant from in the 1200s or something and coming to see that, and just how mind-boggling it must have been. This off to the left is a Museum of Beaux-Arts, so beautiful arts, I think, fine arts. I'm just going to stick my nose in there. Also, we'll take a look back at the cathedral, get another view of it. Look at this old tree, I love it. Go back out and get a photo of the cathedral if I can. Yeah. Got it. Now, on to La Guerre. Not Guerre, like war, but the train station. And the reason I want to take you to the train station is, one, well, it's kind of on the way. And two, it's really kind of a neat station. I like the outside design. I like the inside. It's kind of a nice combination of modern and old. Bonjour. Somebody else getting a parking ticket. One thing I want to complain about, whine about is probably better. So Google has this, all these companies called nanny bags, where you're supposed to be able to leave your baggage for the day for a fee. And we looked around for half an hour the other day, and there's like 10 of them on Google Maps, and no indication that they exist actually on the street. It's kind of frustrating. In the end, it didn't really matter, but maybe it's a comment on my own dependence on digital media, digital resources. I forgot to tell you what rue we are on. Let me see if I can pull this up. Rue Jules Simon. Simon? Like that? Thought we were a street over from where we were. It is okay. Jules Simon, philosopher and politician. 1814 to 1896. I love listening to the birds. That's another thing that trees allow and foliage, plant life allow. Look at the ironwork. I think it just adds to the psychological benefits or positivity of a place. You know, having this green stuff, these living things in our built spaces. It's not a conspiracy, it's an actual thing. You can feel it. You can feel the difference when you go to Budapest and Vienna, you know, two different styles. Or if you go from a very much stone and brick area to someplace like this where we have trees and birds and grass growing and sometimes flowers. It's awesome. This is Boulevard Hurteloop. No idea what that means. Hurteloop, maybe it's a name. Look at these grand, I think they're sycamores. And it doesn't take much, right? That's 20 yards, no. Yeah, maybe 20 yards across. And it's noticeably cooler in here. Okay, coming up here on the right, we're sort of in this glass building on the right, is the tourism center. So you get off the train, you walk across the square, it's right here. And they'll help you out, as tourist centers will. They'll help you find things to do, give you pamphlets, maps, where to get around, all that sort of stuff. If you have questions, it's a great resource in there, right in there. That's part of it, but it continues all along this glass area. They've got posters for events and locations. A lot of great tours. And then there's this awesome modern building, which I think is a theater. You can see the tower of the cathedral, towers of the cathedral back there. And off to the left here is our train station. A little tourist train there. Crossover. I don't know if I mentioned this, I meant to earlier, but you see the bike infrastructure. But we rode our bikes from our hotel, and it's amazing to me how much more efficient, it's not amazing, but it's revealing to me how much more efficient getting around by bike or electric scooter or whatever is than just walking. I love walking, I really do, but in a city, it really, you know, a bike is easy to park, it's easy to get around, and as long as there are safe routes and respectful drivers that see bikes as equal users of the road, then no different than a bus, you know, they might be slow, but they deserve to use the road too. Anyway, it makes a huge difference, and it's been so easy to get around these cities on our bikes. Now, if you have a lot of luggage, strapped to your bike. You have to be aware of security, but once we dumped our stuff at the hotel, super easy peasy. All right. They've got city names engraved on these columns and statues at the top. Chateau de Tours. We'll just duck inside real quick. Let's see. You know, it's got a little wear and tear on it, but by and large, pretty well maintained, considering the environment. Let's go inside. We get a lot of these relay sort of quickie mart stores in most of the train stations. We've got a restaurant off to the left. You've got ticket kiosks. I just use my phone for everything, or cash. You got your schedule. Usually the train track that you need to get to doesn't come up until about 20 minutes. There's a bathroom up there that's paid, usually about €1. It's like a bride or a hen party. What do you call that? Hen do in Britain? I'm losing the word here. You get these fast trains of variety, so that's more of a local train. You can hang your bikes in there. That's more of a high-speed train. Fewer stops, faster service. You have to typically book a bike space on the train there. A little cafe. There's plenty of seating. There's a couple places to charge your phone, or whatever you're charging. There's a ticket office over here to the left. We've got some bicyclists ready to hop on a train. I will say, if you do have a bike and you don't have a reserved spot for your train, I would get there early. They do fill up, and it can be a bit of a hassle getting everything on, especially if you're not at a terminal stop. So at one end of the line or the other, you may only have a couple minutes to get your stuff off the train. And then we've got a bus terminal here. A great app for finding terminals or routes or ways of getting places is called Rome to Rio. Rome, number 2, Rio. And here you've got some the La Avelo sign, the EV6 and La Avelo, which is here, and the Via Tour, which is a European Route 3, which I think that must be part of EV3. And the EV, or Eurovelo, there's a Grand Hotel, that looks fancy. The Eurovelo network is this trans-Europe network of bicycle routes, mostly separate paths for bikes with a little bit of, where they can't get around it, you can ride on roads. But it's not like riding in a city, right? It's like those cart paths I was talking about. Golf cart routes. And often you will see far more bicycles on them than actual cars. Back to Boulevard Courteloup and our lovely tree-lined boulevard. This gray thing across the way is a public toilet. Looks like it might be out of service, but public bathrooms can be a challenge to find in Europe in general. We've made it to noon. It's a nice place to walk in there as well. The reason I'm on this side is because I want a good view of the Hotel De Ville. This is the Oceana Hotel. Also very nice looking. All right, here we go. This grand edifice is the Hotel de Ville, the city hall. Look at that. Is that Rococo? I don't think so. I think it's a little tame for that, but it is beautiful. We've got this beautiful square. Place Jean Joire, politician. Isn't that nice? Nice fountains. Oh, it's cool in here when you're out of the sun. Look at this beautiful fancy cafe here. That, oh, so nice. You can see the tram line. And this is, I believe, Rue Nationale, and I think that's what it's called here still. And we walked a little bit of that earlier. There's the Palais de Justice, which I think is a courthouse. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this walk as here in Tours, France. Beautiful, beautiful city, beautiful day. And I'm not sure where my next walk will be, but I hope you'll join us for it. Until then, oh, let's go this way. Until then, keep on stepping. Thank you. See you soon.